Welcome back to fly fishing Rutland water on the Skeena River in British Columbia. This is our second day. We're back in the same spot that we were yesterday because there's been a lot of fish moving through here. I haven't been filming today because I've been having problems. I've lost the adapter that enables me to get the film from the camera onto the laptop, and I need to get another one, so I didn't want to film and have lots of material that I couldn't transfer. Didn't catch anything yesterday, never touched anything. It was because I had the wrong setup. The guides told me exactly what I needed. We actually made our own setups last night using a really fast sinking tippet. 8 foot of, I think it's Rio T20, which sinks like a flipping stone. And that enables you to get the flies just off the bottom. I'm fishing with an 8-weight rod, everybody else is fishing with double handers. But I kind of wanted to prove a point that you could catch big fish on an 8-weight. You don't have to go for these big broom handle things. This morning I wasn't really doing particularly well, and then about an hour ago I hooked into an absolute monster. It's like the story of my life on YouTube. First fish on the trip was an absolute beast. It took all my line, all my backing, and I have a lot of backing on that reel. I ended up with the tension on full on the reel, and it was still stripping line like there was no tension at all. I can hardly pull the line off the reel with the tension that tight, and this thing was like ripping it like it wasn't there. It must have been a steelhead. We've not, and a fish of a lifetime yet again. I felt awful, just like on Rutland water when I lost that big brown trout with Andrew Laird. I kind of felt really bad. But I forced myself to go back into the water. I thought, look, you've done something right, you've got the fly at the right level, you weren't doing that yesterday, so give it a go. I went back in again, and there's a certain technique. You have to cast square across the river and then kind of let the line come down a bit, upstream mend, and then you feel this kind of bow in the line as the fly is being pulled around. And ideally you want it to be just off the bottom, because that's where whatever's running, whether it's coho, pinks, sockeye, steelhead, they're all kind of at that level. Anyway, almost the same take again, boom, 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 boom. And I've just got the most beautiful.
By the wrist, then slide your other hand underneath the belly. Okay. Left hand on the wrist.
Sorry,
left hand on the wrist.
On the wrist. Okay.
Slide your right hand underneath under the belly.
Okay. British Columbia, coho salmon. I'm never fishing Rutland water again. And just let it sit in the stream, I take it, yeah?
Yep.
There she goes.
I'm going to go for a lie down. Thank you.
Beautiful fish.
Thank you.
Beautiful fish. Caught it perfectly on that rod. That's an accomplishment. Because you got no rod there, right?
No. that was the thing I was trying to prove, was that you could actually play and land big fish.
Yeah.
You don't need a double-handed plunk of wood.
Okay, now that you've proved it, go get a double hand.
As I've done before, I'll kind of tell you the story of how you get the fly out and how you fish it. I'm not going to do the two-camera thing, because until I get my data transfer sorted, which hopefully I'll get sorted today, I don't want to get too much film that I can't use. I mean, we were up at 4 o'clock this morning. We basically had to get up at 4 o'clock to be in the boat at first light just after 5, so we could be up here on this shingle bank to intercept the fish. So anyway, I've got a fish. I wished it was the earlier fish, but I've got a fish. So let me show you the setup. So I've got my Orvis Helios 8-weight. It's a Helios 3F. Tons of power on this rod, serious power. I've got an Orvis Hydros reel. I'm using the Airflow Superflow Ridge 2.0 power taper because I'm throwing some big flies. I've got a 8-foot fast sinking tip, and it is incredibly fast. The fly I'm using is this. It seems to be everything pink seems to work. There's a certain trick to catching. I'm going to go in and just kind of show you what I did. I'll shoot a bit of film so that you can, I'll try and explain what I'm doing and what I learned by not catching anything yesterday and the advice that the guides gave me that effectively made all the difference. So let's give it a go. Fraser! 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 Can you go down a wee bit? Because yeah, thanks. It's like bloody Alaskan combat fishing. It's like bloody Alaskan combat fishing. Now the trick is basically to try and throw the line so I can just hit the edge of that current, upstream mend, and then really let it come around and kind of like a bow. My line's going to be coming round almost in front of Fraser. So when you catch a fish, everybody's jumping at the water, trying to get each other's way. We kind of thought we'd be a little bit more secluded with less people, but it hasn't quite worked out the way we wanted it, unfortunately. And I'm just letting it feel so I can actually feel the kind of pull of the fly against the line. You see, combat fishing. So, a couple of casts, almost casting straight across the river. Maybe even slightly upstream. So an upstream mend in it. Another upstream mend, and then you start to feel the line tugging as it's pulling that heavy leader round. And that's the ideal length. That's the length of line that I need to get out for this to work. The fish seem to be taking about mid-channel. Yesterday it was 33 degrees, so I've literally had to cover up every single bit of my bloody body today just to try and keep out the sun. Didn't feel like 30 odd, but I don't think I've ever felt so dehydrated for an awful long time. The scenery is lovely again. Like I said, it's the same bait we fished yesterday. We're earlier today. We didn't get on it until about 1 o'clock yesterday because we literally came straight off our first night after jet lag. There's a certain feel that you need to get as it's coming round. Around that, and then another upstream mend. I've got to feel the tension in the line as the kind of sinking core is actually coming around. A little bit better. Oh! That's the kind of thing you want to feel though. You need to feel that because it just seems to be before it hits bottom that they're coming. Again, upstream mend, another upstream mend, and then the fly starts to fish. You start to maybe pull in just a little bit, then I can feel the tension now. I've got to feel that pull of the leaded line coming around. And now I'm feeling the rocks as it's coming in. Now that's telling me that I'm getting down to the right level. You really do have to get down to these fish. Upstream mend, another upstream mend, come round, then start to come in, start to pull. It's usually about here the takes seem to come. as always, I'm not desperate to catch large numbers of fish. I just kind of came here to prove a point. I'm the only one using a single-handed 8-weight rod, because that's what I use on Rutland. You're used to seeing me, and that's what you're used to seeing me use. If we don't get one on camera today, we've at least got some footage of the release, but I'm hoping that if I get this card issue sorted, I can do a little bit more film. I mean, the views are spectacular. It's almost worth coming just for that in itself. The fish are really just a bonus. And that isn't the best cast in the world. It is a bit of effort casting this super fast sinking tip. But where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, I'm in the right spot now. I feel that there's a certain spot I have to be in, and I'm in it. I think I'm in it now. I can just feel the line coming round and doing its job. Yeah, that's it. David below me has done well today. He had a absolutely cracking steelhead, which he has kindly allowed me to share with you. It was interesting, when I got the big steelhead, I saw a few fish jumping right in front of me, and I thought there must be a run of fish coming through. And then just a couple of minutes after that, it was bang and off down that river. I mean, I took after that fish like Usain Bolt. I ended up down on that sand spit down there with all the backing off my line. I thought I should have jumped in that boat, and literally they would have followed the fish down and given me a chance of doing it. You don't do that in Rutland water either. You need to feel that, the pull of the flies that comes around. The takes are fabulous. I actually feel exhausted today after that. That first one absolutely wore me out, but I knew I had to get back in the water and give it another go. It was almost identical to what happened with the brown trout at Rutland water. It really was. You kind of think, oh, you've had your chance, you'll never get another one, and then you do, but you kind of learn from what went wrong with the first one to do it better the second time. Sometimes it's actually better to kind of go a little bit upstream, because then it gives the line time to sink before you hit this. That's it. I can feel the weight of the heavy line now. I don't know what the forecast is for today. I think it's going to be hot again. I think the salmon I caught was a coho. I don't know if I said coho in the previous, in the intro, but I did. I think I was still a bit excited, shall we say. A certain amount of line you need to get out as well. It's just so I can see the orange in the running line. That seems to be just the right amount. Now the fish aren't lying here, they're actually coming through in runs. So you'll be here for ages and nothing will happen, and then you'll see the rods like bending one after another as literally hundreds of fish actually come through the spot. The hot spot in this beat seems to be, for me, from here down onto the spit. That's how we get around. We've got one bigger and faster. On the way back last night, we were in two boats. Our boat was the big one, and we decided to, our chap decided to buzz the other boat. A bit naughty. but it was quite funny. One of those top gear moments. It's not like Rutland Water where you've heard me say so many times, if you don't get the fish you've got to keep moving, find them. It's the complete opposite. You stay in one spot where you're confident that your flies are fishing properly, and you wait for the fish to come past you, so you can go for ages and nothing happens, and then all of a sudden now there's an absolute flurry of activity. The thing that changed it for me, my leader length. I'm using a leader that's that length, about what, 1.5 feet, because you need the short leader to allow the sink tip to take the, oh god, that sinks like a stone! I mean, you have to get your head around the scale. The scale is incredible. I mean, these are big rivers, really big rivers. It goes without saying. You have to be comfortable casting, and I'll say that's one thing I will say. You kind of have to be. It's a different game from casting light flies in Rutland Water. This is a beast of a line to cast. The fish are not line shy either, so I've got 20-pound leader on at the moment, and you need it. I think this is the spot where I caught the fish, and there's a certain flow where I can see on the other side where it's a bit rougher, and that's kind of where I was hitting. There we go, that's it, that's the spot. You just get that tension in the line. Yeah, that's it, that's what we're feeling. David, I think I saw a splash further down, there might be a group coming up. I saw a splash further down, there might be a group of fish coming up. You're almost casting the line and it's coming round in front of the person in front of you. I mean, you've got to be comfortable being as close to some people as you are to your wife with this kind of fishing. But I said, this is not kind of what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a bit more solitude. Yeah, the shops sell hooks with barbs on them when if you can get a $600 fine if you get caught fishing with a barbed hook.
As always, if you've liked this video, I would appreciate it if you would hit the like button, and I'd be even more delighted if you would subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'm now going for a lie down.
British Columbia, cool salmon.